Hey guys, Frontwoods Farmer, welcome back to the channel. Today what we're doing is we're going to show you how to change brakes on a 2014 Dodge Ram Dually 3500 HD. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification next to the subscribe button. You'll get all these new videos. Let's turn the camera around and I'm going to show you what all needs done. Let's start by taking this front wheel off. Okay, after the front wheel's been removed, it's pretty straightforward, except for one thing. This has like an extension on here, and the way you get these off isn't just a wrench. What I like to do is either underneath, or if you're on the reverse side, stick a 3/8, just a 3/8 ratchet extension in there, and that keeps that wheel from turning back and forth. But these are pretty bad and they're all froze up. So what we're gonna end up doing is just using the socket, the extension, and the impact through these holes. Now, I'm not sure if our Dewalt impact is going to be enough to get these all off of here, but we'll probably end up just breaking them free with a breaker bar first. Also, don't forget to put a jack stand under your vehicle for safety. 21 millimeters the size of all of these nuts here. And like I said, a 3/8 extension. Depending on which way you're going, which side of the truck, it'll fit right in this rotor. So that way if it turns when you're breaking them free, you can hold it with something. See if the Dewalt gun does it real quick. I don't think it's going to. These are normally a little bit galded on. Yeah, that ain't gonna do it. So what I'll do is I'll go around, I'll break all these free, and then I'll zip them off the rest of the way with the gun. And I find it easier to do on the truck than taking the whole assembly off and then doing it. So again, you just get your breaker bar in here. See how it turns? Now it hit the caliper. Just go around, break these all free. And you'll get a system eventually. More times you do this, where slip them in, out, slip them in and out, because it's kind of a pain. Push that back in and go to the next one. Here comes the fun part. You get to do it all over again with the gun. Get them out of there. Put them next to your lug nut. Now just get a nice cross peen or ball peen or mini sledgehammer like this. Take your 3/8 extension out, and you're gonna just tap. Easy. You don't want to hit this hard. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses. This stuff will get in your eye. You're gonna want to turn this. It might be a little hard to turn. Your brakes are real bad, like mine. That's it. So if you've never done these brakes before, like any kind of disc brake with a rotor, that's the only extra step that you have to take on one of these heavy duty trucks. Now it's all just the same as any brake change, but that for some reason they put that dually extension on there on that front end. So now that's off. We can start getting our caliper bolts loosened, and then get the holder for the caliper, that caliper bracket. We're gonna get those bracket bolts off there next, and then we're gonna get everything off. Now you're gonna get a 5/8. I don't know what the metric size would be. Some of these are metric. Keep your mini sledge close by. Give it a few taps. You're gonna want to get these caliper bolts out. Pretty easy. Got 2 of those. So once you loosen the top or the bottom, vice versa, leave the other caliper bolt in and loosen the other one. Oh, it's not all flopping around. So now when you're taking them all the way off, you want the bottom caliper bolt out first. You can take your top out. See how loose it is? It ain't really loose. This is pretty galded. It's been on there a while. you're going to want to get a pry bar. You're going to pry easy against this. Now remember, all this steel, it's like that spindle. It can all break. It could all snap. So especially if it's cold out, you want to be real careful with this stuff. Just do that, kind of pry them off. And this caliper here, just found it, look. It's totally destroyed. I'm gonna have to replace this whole caliper now, which I wasn't expecting doing. And look at that rear pad, or I'm sorry, not rear, back pad. It's like brand new, but I think from the heat, yeah, it's really bad. All right, so I'm definitely gonna show you guys the removal of the caliper. I decided to replace the caliper. So I ordered one from that, but it won't be here. If it's here in time, I'm going to show you the installation of the caliper and how to bleed it. But as far as that goes, we're going to remove this one and then get on with the installation of the front brake pads and new rotor. Okay, and the size was a 15 millimeter. I'm not sure what the new caliper comes with, so you're going to want to save all your banjo bolts and everything. Washers. Okay, that line, so I'm going to stick it up here. Spring. And then again, you have two washers on each side of that brake line on your banjo bolt, so you're going to try to remove those. The new caliper should come with them, but just in case they don't, just going to set that aside. And again, get on with the installation. I don't know why this rear pad on here is like new. Just gonna want to try to get that out of there. As you can see, this is pretty golden. Either way, this is all heat fractures in here, so this pad was junk regardless. Try to get this outer pad out. If you watch the channel, you know we tow a lot, so this is probably due to towing. Yeah, that pad's completely gone. Now that we got that off, we're going to disassemble our caliper bracket. I'm going to take the two caliper bracket bolts out, take it off. We're going to take these old clips out where the brake pads sit, install new ones with anti-seize. I'm going to use a 1-inch, and like I said before, it's not the metric size, but it'll do the job. Just like that. It's never a good idea to anti-seize these bolts, I learned. They'll back themselves off. Once you have the caliper bracket off, move your rotor. And then you can install the new one. All right, we got these CarQuest Platinums from Advance. Time you're installing new rotors. Got these open. From the factory, they come with an oil for an anti-rust, like an anti-corrosion for when they sit on the shelves. You don't want to get your brake clean to clean that off. I think it's like a perfect setup if you're in a garage that's finished and really not like this, so where you could just use its own box to spray it down with brake cleaner. And the reason why on a nice finished floor it could discolor your concrete or whatever. So I open the box, I do it on the box. Wipe them down. Other side. And then they're ready to just install. We'll just set them on the spindle. So we're gonna have to get that blowed out. I'm just gonna show you guys how to do this real quick. Get that put on there. This spindle, again, the same way we took it off, except when we tighten this, we want to go into a star pattern. So basically you're going from one side to the other, to the other, to the other. That way it's all getting tightened in sequence and pulling together square, because that way you don't want your wheel caulked. Again, you're going to want to get your 21, your extension. We're just going to do this the same way as we took it off. Now there is a torque spec for these. I'll put in the link in the description down below, and you should use that torque spec when retightening. We got this spindle on. Switch to my GoPro here. We're only down about 18%, but you'll have that. So the new caliper, which is pretty cool, I think, comes with a new caliper bracket. This is an Apple one, pretty heavy duty. New banjo bolt, and of course your bleeder and your little bleeder cap seal. So what I'm probably going to do is put this on like you see it, put the 2 caliper bracket bolts in, take our new caliper bolts out, take the caliper out where it goes, slide in our new pads. Yeah, we could just take these bolts out right here. Just do that. If you guys can see that or not. Just taking these caliper bolts out on the ground. I thought they were maybe run them in tight, so I was going to take them off on the truck, but they didn't. Just take them off here to be easy. Again, these already came on the caliper bracket. I'm going to show you how these go, and they kind of just push in like that when they're clean. So the old one, if we were still using, you want to clean that really well. I'm going to put this back in here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Get our old caliper bolts. Caliper bracket bolts. Say caliper so many times you don't know. No idea what bolts are you talking about. So you're talking about the bracket, the caliper itself. These are the caliper bracket bolts we're putting in now. It's getting dark. If I could even find the other one. Here it is. And we'll put some anti-seize on all these caliper slides. Try not to get any on your new rotor. That allows your pads to move in and out pretty easy. Get our new pads and fit those in here. I believe on this truck they're a little universal, unlike other ones where you got an inner and outer pad. Those installed really nice. To get a caliper on. Count. There we go. Bottom one in there. Now, one thing you're going to notice here, I wanted to include, is this was actually the wrong caliper. And if you didn't catch this already, a lot of videos you're not going to catch this because they got the right caliper and in the auto parts store give me the wrong caliper. And in this case, it's going to be great for educational purposes. Your bleeder is always on top of your brake line. I never was able to actually successfully bleed this caliper because of the bleeder location. This is a passenger side caliper I'm installing on the driver's side. I later had to switch that. I didn't want to include that in the video because you already know how to install a caliper. But yeah, so if your bleeder is below your brake line, you got the wrong caliper. You might not want to forget. Washer goes on each side of this line. That's how you install front pads on a 2014 Dodge Ram 3500 dually.